Hey y'all, I'm back with my August 2023 reading wrap up. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Books with Kimberly. Don't forget to like, comment, share my channel, and subscribe. Y'all, I missed y'all so much and I missed this channel. The summer was busy, but fall is here and I am back. And I'm ready to catch y'all up on the books that I read in the month of August and September. I'm going to start off with August, and September reads will be in my next video. So let's get right into the books I read in the month of August. I read a total of 5 books. In the month of July, I read the book Cinder by Marissa Meyer, and I was excited to continue the series. So in the month of August, I read Scarlet, I read Fairest, and I read Cress. All 3 of these books were pretty good and continue to hold my interest to reading the next book. I'll start off with Scarlet. Scarlet is the second book, and this story is based off Little Red Riding Hood. So we get introduced to Scarlet, who is living in Paris. She's looking for her grandmother and comes to find out the big bad wolf has taken the grandmother. But Scarlet is catching feelings for this mystery guy she meets named Wolf. And Wolf is on a mission to make sure Scarlet does not find out what happened to her grandmother. But in the midst of it all, he ends up switching teams and realizing he loves Scarlet. In this book, we are still finding out about Cinder. She broke out of jail with a character named Thorn. So a lot is going on in this book. So I gave this book 2.5 stars, and I did not round up, so I gave it 2 stars. It was not my favorite book of the series. I feel like the story of Wolf and Scarlet was not very intriguing to me. I was kind of confused the whole time. I had to Google what story is about a girl and a wolf. I don't know why Little Red Riding Hood did not pop in my mind. I think because I thought all of these stories in the Lunar series were based off of princesses. So I actually thought, as I was reading this story, that it was based off Princess, I think her name is Merida from the movie Brave. I had to refresh my mind so that I could get the correlation between Scarlet's story and the Little Red Riding Hood. This book kept me intrigued to continue the series, but Scarlet's personal story, Wolf's personal story were not my favorites. But I mean, they got a cute little relationship that we get to see unfold in other stories. The next one I read is Fairest. Ferris is the story of Queen Lavanna. Y'all, Ferris was so good. I am not used to reading stories told from the point of view of the villain, and I absolutely loved it. Lavanna has a very twisted story. She manipulated her husband. She was killing people to get the power she wants. She was stopped at no ends when it came to having full power, having full control. We find out why she uses this glamour to cover up how she really looks. It was such a crazy story, but I loved every second of it, and I give Ferris 5 stars. The last book that I read from the series in the month of August was Cress. Cress was such a cute story. Cress is really good at hacking, so she's hacking into all of Earth countries, their intelligence. It's a lot that Cress does to keep the lunar empire going, but she is lonely in this satellite ship in space. Her hair has grown so long, and so this story is in reference to Rapunzel with the long hair, and she's trapped in a tower. So the crew, Cinder, Scarlet, Thorn, and Wolf, they all decide to go and free her from her satellite, but some of them end up getting captured by lunar officials. And so this story was really good because we get the whole group being broken back up, and some are here, some are there. There are different adventures going on. We get more of Scarlet, which I like Scarlet better in this book. I got to learn more about Thorn's character and him and Cress. Cress is crushing on him big time. So I really enjoyed this one, and I also give this one 5 stars. Book number 4 that I read in the month of August was Hold You Down by Tracy Brown. I've been wanting to read this story for the longest, but what really pushed me into reading it is that Tracy Brown actually passed away recently. So my prayers go out to all of her friends, family, and fan base. So this book got me because I constantly see it in some of the Black girl reading groups I'm in. And I love the cover. Had no clue at all what this book was about. So I dived straight in, and I was shocked to find out that this is actually an urban book. And y'all know I'm not the biggest reader of urban fiction. So this book, there was a little drugs in it, y'all. There was a little killing in it, and I was not ready. So this book is about 2 sisters, Lennox and Mercy. They are growing up in New York, Staten Island. Lennox gets affiliated with a drug dealer, and she starts helping him cook up certain things. And sis is bringing in a lot of money because she always wanted a lot of money, wanted to hustle. Marcy, on the other hand, is one of those women who works her tail off at the hospital. Unfortunately, Lennox and all of her dealings that are very illegal get her in trouble. And I won't spoil anything, but what I will say is something very tragic happens, and then the story unfolds more with the sons of these 2 women. The sons are Judah and Dion. Dion is Lennox's son, and Judah is Mercy's son. We see these kids grow up. We get to a point where Judah is right on track with going to an HBCU college. Dion is in and out of juvie, and they're just trying to get him on a straight and narrow track. More unfortunate events happen. So this book really shows the parallels between the sons and the moms, and how there was this relationship where one was always getting into trouble, and how that really had a domino effect in the other's life. How they would make sacrifices out of love, and they would end up getting the short end of the stick. This book made me cry, y'all. It was very emotional. It was a lot. I kept wondering, when would good things start to happen to all of these characters? I ended this book saying that I never want to read a story like this again. And then I immediately started looking for a book that's exactly like it. And as much as it was an emotional roller coaster for me, I love books that can draw out this much emotion and really take you there. I give this book 5 stars, and I definitely want to read more from this author. I'm saddened that we lost her so young, and we won't get new books from her, but I look forward to going back and reading some of her past books. The last book that I read in the month of August was The Quest for Glory, A School for Good and Evil story. This was book 4 in the series by Soman Chainani. Y'all know how much I love this series. The students are now in their 4th year, and they all have these quests that they have to complete in order to graduate. But some evil forces are keeping all of them from completing their tasks. In this book, y'all, it gets real, because some of the characters that we've grown to love in the past 3 books, we lose some of those characters. There's a lot of just shaking things up in this book. And we find out that Tedros, who is the son of King Arthur, fails at his quest like the others. But there's a new guy who comes into town threatening to take the throne and saying he is the rightful heir of King Arthur. This book had a lot of twists and turns. While I enjoyed the story and I'm still invested, I feel like this was the first book where things were very predictable. I pretty much knew what was going to happen, maybe not down to the T, but I felt like this 4th book was a little bit predictable. So that's why I took off and I'm giving it 4 stars, but I still want to read more in this series. That's it for the books I read in the month of August. Get down in those comments and let me know what were your favorite reads of the summer. And thank you again for tuning in to a Books with Kimberly video.